Beginning the glitch. Lieutenant Mara Vesh had never been embarrassed in public. Not during simulations, not during combat exercises, and certainly not in front of a council of alien dignitaries. Yet today, on the bustling Aelara trade station, humiliation was only moments away. Mara's advanced exosuit, the pinnacle of her species' engineering, had malfunctioned. Its energy shields flickered, environmental stabilizers failed, and the interface that controlled her enhanced strength refused to respond. Every step sent jolts through her limbs. Every gesture risked attracting attention, or worse. The station was crowded. A mix of species milled about. The six-armed Krell merchants, the tall and skeletal Vask traders, the luminescent Trillari diplomats. None had ever seen a human in person, and most considered them myths, fragile, weak, and incapable of surviving interstellar hazards. Mara's predicament was about to prove them all right, or so she thought. She struggled to keep balance, her voice trembling as she tried to call for assistance. But the station's comms were overloaded, and her suit's signals scrambled. That's when she noticed him. A human engineer carrying a toolkit, walking confidently despite the chaos. He was small compared to her species, unarmored, and seemingly ordinary. But there was something in his gaze. Calm, observant, and unafraid. "Need a hand?" he asked, his accent rough but clear. Mara blinked. You can fix this?" "I don't know yet," he replied with a grin, "but I'll try." The middle, the repair. The human, whose name was Jason Kale, stepped close, examining the suit. Mara felt her pride flare and dim simultaneously. A human fixing an alien exosuit? It was absurd. Jason's hands moved with precision and instinct. Every panel, every circuit, every energy conduit he touched was adjusted with speed Mara had never seen in a civilian, let alone someone without formal military training. "Your suit's a masterpiece, but it's overloaded," Jason muttered. "Too many energy loops converging at one node. I can reroute it, but we need to move fast." Mara nodded, letting him guide her to a secluded maintenance bay. Every step was a test. The suit's failures made her feel like a marionette. As Jason worked, Mara studied him. His species had always been underestimated. Humans were small, fragile, and untrained in the advanced warfare that Mara's people mastered. Yet here he was calmly analyzing alien tech and improvising solutions faster than most of her engineers could. "Why do you care?" she asked, curiosity breaking through her embarrassment. Jason shrugged. "Because someone has to. If you fall here, everyone loses. And honestly, humans like a challenge. Hours or maybe minutes. Time had blurred, passed. The suit hissed, clicked, and then stabilized. Mara flexed her limbs experimentally. Energy shields glowed steadily, servomotors responded, and the environmental systems purred like a living thing. "You did it," she whispered. Jason grinned. "We did it." The escape. No sooner had the suit stabilized than alarms rang across the station. Mara's presence, coupled with the human's intervention, had drawn attention. Rival factions, believing she was vulnerable, were mobilizing security forces to capture or kill her. Jason's eyes narrowed. "We need to move, now." Mara followed instinct, her enhanced strength now functional, as they dashed through corridors. Laser turrets pivoted toward them. Automated defense drones swarmed. But with the human by her side, improvising on the fly, they evaded every trap. At one point, a collapsing walkway forced Mara to leap over a gaping hole. Jason, nimble despite his lack of enhancements, grabbed her arm midair, stabilizing her. "Trust me," he said. She did, and together they landed safely. Through a combination of her strength and his ingenuity, they reached the docking bay. Mara activated her ship's emergency lift while Jason rerouted power to the airlock, keeping pursuing drones at bay. As they lifted off, Mara finally allowed herself a breath. "You're extraordinary," she said. Jason chuckled. "You haven't seen anything yet. The lesson." In the quiet of space, Mara finally studied her companion. He was human, yes, but not weak. He was resourceful, fearless, and adaptable. Traits her species prized, yet seldom saw in humans. "I underestimated your kind," Mara admitted. "I thought humans were myths, fragile, incapable of survival in dangerous environments. I was wrong." Jason shrugged. "You're not the first to think that. But humans survive because we adapt. Not because we're strong, because we think differently." Mara contemplated his words. For centuries, her people had dismissed humans as a footnote in galactic history, but here was one human who had saved a war-trained officer from certain capture, navigating alien tech and hostile environments with nothing but instinct and ingenuity. "You've changed my perspective," she said. "And perhaps more than my perspective, you've changed my fate." Jason smiled faintly. "Glad I could help." The strategy. As they approached her fleet's temporary station, Mara realized the human's value went beyond technical skills. His understanding of improvisation, his instinctive combat awareness, and his ability to remain calm under pressure made him an asset far beyond what any officer could quantify. "You know," Mara said, "I've faced enemies who outnumbered us 10 to 1. I've survived weapons that could tear ships apart. Yet you, a human, saved me faster than any reinforcements could arrive." Jason looked at her, expression neutral. "You were failing because the system failed, not because you were weak. I just helped the system, and maybe reminded it how humans think." Mara realized something profound. Humans were not a species to be underestimated. They thrived where others relied solely on training, where adaptation, instinct, and courage mattered more than raw power. The confrontation. Her fleet's command center was under siege. Rival alien factions had detected her weakened state and launched an attack. Mara's exosuit was fully operational, but the threat was overwhelming. Jason, now armed with portable repair and combat tools, stood ready beside her. "Stick close," he said. They moved together through the corridors. Mara's combat instincts and enhanced strength combined with Jason's quick thinking created a formidable team. Drones and mercenaries fell in calculated sequences. Traps meant to isolate her were dismantled or used against the attackers. Even the elite alien soldiers, trained to kill war officers without hesitation, hesitated when they saw Mara and the human moving as one, efficient, adaptive, and unexpectedly deadly. By the end of the engagement, Mara's fleet survived largely intact. Not because of firepower alone, but because she had trusted a human, and that human had amplified her own abilities. The resolution. When the station fell quiet, Mara and Jason surveyed the aftermath. Alien engineers would repair damage, and the factions that attacked would think twice before underestimating humans again. "You're remarkable," Mara said, the weight of gratitude heavy in her voice. "I would not have survived without you." Jason shrugged again, brushing dust from his uniform. "Humans survive. That's all. You did your part. I just made sure the system didn't fail." Mara realized the truth. It wasn't just about survival. Humans could change the outcome of war simply by thinking differently, by acting when others hesitated, by using ingenuity over raw power. "Perhaps humans are more than myths," she said aloud. "Perhaps they're legends." Jason's grin was faint but genuine. "Maybe. But you'll see plenty more of us in action soon enough." Ending the legacy. The story of the human engineer who saved a war-trained alien officer spread throughout the galaxy. Humans, once dismissed as fragile and inconsequential, were now seen with a mixture of respect, caution, and fear. Mara returned to her post, her perspective forever altered. She had learned that strength wasn't just measured by muscle or weapons. True strength was intelligence, courage, and the ability to act when the system, the armor, and the environment failed. Jason returned to his workshops, blending human ingenuity with alien tech, knowing that his species had once again proven, we survive where others falter, adapt where others fail, and thrive where the impossible becomes inevitable. And somewhere in the galaxy, alien soldiers whispered stories of the human who stepped in when all else failed, the human who turned the tide with nothing but instinct, skill, and determination. Legends were born in moments like these. The human's legend was only beginning.